All right, today we're going to go on a bit of a journey, not to some new place, but to a new understanding of our own inner world. We're going to learn the language of our feelings and really build our emotional fluency one step at a time. So let's get into it.
So let's just start with the most basic question there is. How are you feeling right at this moment? I know, it sounds super simple, but really think about it for a second. Can you put a precise name to that feeling?
And here's the thing, being able to truly answer that question, that's a superpower. No joke. It's a fundamental skill, not just for your own well-being, but for building those deep, meaningful connections with the people in your life.
So how do we build the superpower? Well, you need a toolkit, right? And we're going to start with the absolute foundation. Think of these as the primary colors of our feelings. These are the most basic, essential words you're going to need. And you got to start with the big two, right? The polar opposites. You've got happy, that amazing feeling when you're smiling and life just feels good. And then you have its opposite, sad, that feeling you get when something bad happens or you're just really missing someone. They're kind of like the north and south poles of our emotional map.
Okay, so this table here expands that toolkit beyond just happy and sad. We're adding angry for that hot feeling when something feels unfair, and even physical states, which are so important, like tired, hungry, and scared. Just think about it for a second. With only these 6 words, you've got a solid foundation to describe, well, probably most of your daily experiences.
But, it's not always that simple, is it? Feelings aren't just black and white. They have different levels, different intensities, kind of like all the different shades of a color. So let's move to the next level and get a little more precise with our language.
Take anger, for example. It's totally a spectrum. You might be annoyed when the bus is a few minutes late. That's one thing. You could be angry if someone is really unkind to you. But what if someone crashes your car? Yeah, you would be furious. That's that extreme white-hot rage. Each word gives us a much more precise location on that emotional map.
And it's the exact same deal with fear. You might feel nervous before a big job interview. That's just worry about something in the future. You feel scared if you suddenly see a huge spider in your room. That's an immediate feeling of danger. But if you were on a plane and it hit some crazy turbulence, you'd be terrified. That's just pure extreme fear. See how having the right word gives you so much more power to explain exactly what's going on inside?
Now, understanding our own feelings, that's huge. But the real magic happens when we use that understanding to connect with other people. This part is all about the language of empathy, and this is an absolutely crucial skill for any relationship.
Think about it. When a friend shares some good news, you could just say, "That's great," and that's fine. But saying, "I'm so happy for you," wow, that's a whole different level. It makes it personal. It tells them that their happiness is actually making you happy. It's like you're sharing in their joy. And on the flip side, when someone is going through a tough time, this simple phrase can be a total lifeline. "I'm here for you if you need anything." You're not promising to solve their problems, you're just promising your presence. It tells them they're not alone. And that right there is an incredible comfort. We can actually break empathy down into 3 really simple, actionable steps. First up, just listen carefully, like really listen without jumping in. Second, validate their feeling. Say something like, "Wow, that sounds so difficult." You're not judging, you're just showing them you get the weight of it. And finally, offer genuine support, maybe by asking that golden question, "Is there anything I can do?" So all of this stuff we're talking about, understanding yourself, connecting with others, it all fits under this bigger idea called emotional intelligence, or EQ. This is where we move from just knowing the words to achieving a deeper kind of wisdom.
The absolute foundation of EQ is self-awareness. It's the ability to kind of pause in the middle of a feeling and say to yourself, okay, I am feeling frustrated right now. It's not about judging it or fixing it. It's just about recognizing it and naming it as it's happening. So once you're aware of a feeling, what's next? Well, that's self-regulation. This is the power to manage your response. It's that tiny pause between feeling that flash of anger and actually shouting. It's the moment where you can choose a more constructive way to react. And we see this difference in action every single day, don't we? A hot-headed person is basically controlled by their emotions. They just react blindly. But a level-headed person, they practice self-regulation. They stay calm so they can make sensible decisions. It is an invaluable skill in pretty much every part of life.
Okay, so we've got the toolkit, we understand the concepts, but here's the thing. Knowing is not the same as doing. This final section is your call to adventure. It's all about taking these ideas and actually putting them into real-world practice.
So, how do you actually get fluent in this stuff? Spoiler, it's not by reading a book, it's by practicing. It means having live, spontaneous conversations where you actually try to name your feelings in the moment. It means practicing with peers, friends or family, where there's less pressure to be perfect. This kind of real world exposure is what builds genuine confidence and gives you the social motivation to keep going. When you get right down to it, this entire journey isn't just about learning a bunch of words. It's about something so much deeper. It's about having a map for your own inner world. It's your guide to navigating your feelings and the feelings of others with way more compassion and clarity. You now have the foundational tools, the first coordinates for your inner map. So the only question left is, where are you going to explore first?